interesting, from what we can see. The theme of the book, everything is so interesting and it applies to all of us. Let's listen to her once we start and enjoy the film. To see the smiling faces. Two cute little girls. I was telling your ma'am just now, I said, they look so little. And you're like class 5, right? So, respected teachers and my dear little girls. Good morning, hi, good afternoon, sorry. Good afternoon and good morning. It is my great pleasure to introduce the Karnel Foundation and our wonderful initiative, Muskaan. The foundation has been a beacon of cultural, literary, and social activities, tirelessly working towards promoting art, culture, and heritage. Muskaan focuses on bringing joy and learning to children through various creative and educational activities. We organize a variety of activities such as storytelling sessions, workshops, and cultural events aimed at fostering a love for learning and enhancing the overall development of young minds. Through these endeavors, Muskaan strives to create a nurturing environment where children can explore their creativity, build confidence, and develop essential skills for their future. So this is what Muskaan does. We have come from Muskaan, which is part of Pravakita Foundation, that's a very big organization. And we have a special section for children in Muskaan. And we do a lot of online sessions. I think you all must have got some time or the other, some information, Zoom links where you have joined our programs, right? Or Friday evenings, some of you may have. Today, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce you to a distinguished guest who has made significant contributions to the world of children's literature, Miss Savie. Karnel is the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Nameless Book, which has captured the hearts of readers across the world. In 2021, it was voted the most popular children's book on Amazon India and was shortlisted for the prestigious Bangalore Literature Festival Book Prize in the same year. Her remarkable work continued to garner recognition as it became the only children's book shortlisted for the Emmy Mumbai Film Festival's Words to Screen Options market in 2023. Born and raised in the picturesque coastal town of Karnel, Ms. Karnel's journey into the realm of storytelling began after a successful career in journalism. She has worked with esteemed publications such as the New Indian Press, Midday, and Talk Magazine in Bangalore. Her transition from journalism to children's writing has been marked by a unique ability to weave enchanting tales that resonate with young readers. She also has a new book titled Lakshmi Panda, the story of Netaji's youngest body. When Ms. Karnel is not crafting new stories or brainstorming captivating plots, she indulges in a passion for travel and enjoys listening to the myriad stories of the people she encounters. Currently, she resides in Kolkata with her husband, son, and their two beloved Hindi dogs. I would also like to extend our humble thanks to Modern High School girls for hosting this interactive session with Ms. Karnel. We hope you learned something valuable and probably enjoyed your time. So, once again, please join me in welcoming Ms. Savie. Here and allowing us to participate in this. It's our pleasure actually. And we love this kind of exposure for our children. We'd love to do it. Keep books up for you all. Math's going to. Right? But we'll have two in our library. And now I hand over the mic to Savie ma'am.
Ray ma'am for the opportunity and be here. And I'm grateful to Mrs. Chatterjee and Northern High School. I'm so happy you're all here. Thank you for sitting so patiently. How are you all this afternoon? Excited. And I'm excited as well. You all are so bright. So this afternoon, all of you seem so active and excited. Do all of you read books? Oh my, such a big yes. And how many of you write books or write stories? You can? Wonderful. Let's give a huge round of applause for all of you who are trying to write. Thank you. So, I have some secrets here. I know you all know how to write, but still I thought, I could share something with you that I have found along the way. Before that, I want one of you to come up and tell me your favorite. My God, so many. How do I choose from among you? I want you to tell me one story, one favorite story. Just choose any. Yes. How about you? Then let's one. All of you get chances. Okay? Yeah, many storybook. What story? Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone. Okay. Okay, quick. It's a big book, but in quick 2-3 lines, you can tell me what story is. That's my most favorite. It's also your favorite. Okay. So let's stick to Harry Potter. Everyone knows the story of Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone? Yes, you can say.
Those stories I know my dad, but I know all about Ella Riley. She is like a friend who shares all about her life.
Okay, that's nice. That's wonderful. It's your favorite as well. What's your favorite?
My favorite book is Famous Five, the mystery book.
Famous one. I think Ella Riley seems to be your favorite around here.
Oh, right now you like my book. Nice and charming. Thank you. Okay, now here. My book. Oh, thank you so much. But any favorite story? Let's stick to a story which all of us know. A simple one.
You can take the mic from something.
I know it's not the best.
Just hand over, hand over. Please.
No, you like it really badly.
Manage tasks.
So in all of these stories,
Listen.
Somebody wants to say something, sir.
yes, please. Yes.
Ma'am, my favorite story is Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson and the Battle of Labyrinth.
Oh, okay, Percy Jackson. That's nice.
He is a Olympus.
Okay. So we have Harry Potter fans, Ella Riley fans, and Percy Jackson fans, and my fans as well.
My favorite book is Sinclair.
Oh, that's good. All right. So can we come back to all of you? Because we have a question and answer round as well. When I will try that all of you get a chance to ask questions, okay? So, for most of the stories that you've read, what things have you found it found? What are the different parts, that the stories have? Okay?
Adventures, children.
Yeah, there are adventures.
Okay. You?
It gets more thrilling.
It gets more thrilling.
Okay.
Ma'am, there are plots in the story. So, I think it's like a movie.
So movie and then like what you said is a plot. There's a plot there.
Ma'am, there are plots in the story.
There are plots in the story. Okay? Some stories are adventurous and thrilling. There are plots in the story. Yes, please.
Some stories are like very fictional and such.
Okay, magical, fictional.
I read them right because I read the dialogue.
Wonderful.
Now some stories are very funny.
Funny dialogue, plot. Okay, come back. So let us all, bring down two components of the story. So there are many things, like you said, dialogue and thrill. Okay, these are all components of a story. So let us see what are components of a story. I know all of you can write very good stories, and in fact, all of us are storytellers. Because when we go back home from school, don't we tell our parents what happened in school? Yes, and we make it exciting, don't we? So all of us are natural storytellers, but just break it out in different parts so that when we are confused or like in my case, I have too many ideas. And I have a difficult time sifting out this idea and deciding what to write on. And that's where these things come in handy. What I'm going to tell you next. So I will call these components of a story: settings, characters, point of view, conflict, plot, theme, all of these things which you told me now. So let's go. What do you understand by setting? Yes.
Ma'am, settings is like where the story is taking place and where the whole thing takes place and where it happens.
Yes, wonderful. A setting is where the story takes place, where it's happening, and also what time it is happening, what period it is happening in. Like in my case, okay. So let's first see at the picture at the left. Okay, what's that? Castle. So when you see a castle, I want you all to quickly think of a story. Okay, think of something original. If I asked you to write a story on the castle, what would you write about? Yes, kings and queens, adventures. The story we said then? The time of the kings and queens, right? Maybe the medieval ages or the ancient ages. So when I think of a setting, when a castle, you think of these things. But now look at the picture at the right. Quickly look at that picture and think of a story in your mind. Yeah, yes. There behind. Future? Yeah. Thinking of a futuristic story. Action character saving the world. Castle, we thought of kings and queens and the medieval time. But when we saw the picture at the right, what did you think of? The future. The future and some sci-fi and action characters. So Spider-Man. Yes, maybe Spider-Man in the future. These days Spider-Man is, fighting who? There are two Spider-Man these days, is it? So do you see the difference when you thought of the castle? We thought of kings and queens and the time. Your time became the medieval time. But when we saw the other picture, we thought of future. So setting does not only determine the place and time, but it also influences your characters. So your characters, the way your characters dress up, the way your characters talk, and the social environment of your character, everything changes. Or your entire story, your book, relies upon the setting. When and where the story is happening, okay? And we got what, all of us got what setting is? Characters. Yes.
So Ella and one of her friends in Ella Diaries.
Okay. Ella and one of her friends, your favorite. Tom and Jerry. Oh, I have something about Tom and Jerry as well. We'll come to it. Harry Potter. Ron Weasley. Percy Jackson. Mr. Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
favorite characters.
And how are the characters made? You know, all your favorite writers must have found these characters. Right? So, most of your favorite characters are the the main primary characters, and some of you like the secondary characters as well. Someone like Ron Weasley. When we speak of characters, a story needs a character, a main character, and then you need some of the supporting characters because he cannot be on. He can in some stories we have books based on single characters, but most of the books have many other characters as well. So in this picture, I have these characters. Noor and Batu, they are from my book, The Nameless God. My Nameless God has two main characters, two little boys of your age, 10-year-olds. One is Noor and one is Batu. And they have a friend. See the one in the middle? It's a dog. Yes, it's a three-legged dog. And the three of them go on an adventure. You see a movie on this? It's nice on three-legged dog. We need more movies like this. And one dog that has the one soldier in the middle. Yeah. She is Lakshmi Pandit. That is her picture when she was young, when she was in the INA. Okay, and she was the main character of my book, Lakshmi Pandit. And obviously everyone knows who is Minion. Kevin. Wonderful. Okay, you all know him. And is Kevin different from the other minions? Yes. How is Kevin different?
Kevin is mature and knows better than the other.
Okay. So Kevin is more mature and knows better than the other minions. So when the many minions have, can you spot Kevin? Can you differentiate between Kevin and the others? He's taller. So you see there are certain characteristics to Kevin which differentiates him among the sea of minions.
He liked it.
Okay, so when you form a character, you give him some personality traits. Like how he talks, like in my book, Noor and Batu. You know, Batu is the innocent guy and Noor thinks that he knows everything. He's a know-it-all. So that's how we differentiate. And in my book also, I have written each chapter in one voice. Like first chapter is in Batu's voice. That means Batu is speaking. He's telling the story. And the next chapter is in Noor's voice. That is, Noor is telling the story. But because their characteristics are different, so when Noor tells the story, he tells it like a know-it-all. Like he knows everything. But Batu makes certain mistakes, he goofs up. So when you can see the difference in their voices. So a character could be anything, a person or also an animal. So we covered this, they have personality, they have background. There's a background story also. Harry Potter has a background story, right? Anyone? Yes, what's the background story?
Lord Voldemort killed Harry's parents when he was 1 year old. He was adopted by an uncle, and when he turned 11, he adopted the boarding school Hogwarts.
So that's his background story, you see? Same way Gru also has a background story of why he is evil and he turns. So similarly, Lakshmi Pandit also has a background story. So Lakshmi's parents, they were killed in the bombing by the Allied forces. Lakshmi's parents came from Odisha, and that time the British took many people from India to work in estates in Singapore, Malaya, and Burma. So Lakshmi's parents were railroad workers. They were laying railway tracks. And when the Second World War broke out, the Allied forces attacked Burma because Burma was occupied by the Japanese, and Lakshmi's parents died in the attack. So that is Lakshmi's story of why an orphan Lakshmi with a young 10-year-old brother Nakul, they are left on their own to survive in the jungles, and then they join Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's Indian National Army. So that is what forms Lakshmi's motive, to join the army and go back home. And for Lakshmi, home is India. She was born in Burma, she had never seen India. But she had heard about India from her parents.
And for her, the only connection to India was that her parents lived there. And she wanted to free India from the British and come back to India. What we mean by point of view?
Each person has like a different point of view. So like one chapter, one person is saying something, and to the other chapter, someone else is.
Able, right?
Yeah, but this yes.
Even if you're telling the same story, the way somebody says it is different. I think they can make it sound different.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone is giving their own ideas.
Yes, everyone's giving their own ideas.
The way we see the story,
Maybe some.
the way we imagine the story, many people are reading the same book, but they are seeing it in a different way.
Very good. Yes. The same way, all of you are attending this session, and but each of you will have a different point of view about the section. Some of you may like it, some of you find it interesting, some of you find it boring. Isn't it? The same way, another point, each of us has a different point. So that is how we bring up to the story. So when you write two characters, you have to try to get the character's point of view. But it also means how we narrate the story. All of you have read books. Some books are said in the first person. They are written in the first person. Like Lakshmi Panda, Lakshmi is telling the story. But in some parts, there's a third person, a narrator tells a story. Like in Harry Potter. So that's what we know as the point of view. The first person, second person, and third person. Third person is that mostly the narrator, which is commonly used.
Yes.
What do you mean by conflict? And each of your stories, there is a problem. Is it? Do all your characters and your stories face some problem or the other? Yes. Yeah. So this conflict is something which makes your story go forward. Now, you created your setting, you created your characters. But then there should be some motive which pushes your characters forward. So this is the conflict. And your entire story moves towards the conflict. All of you like Wonder Woman? And she solves all problems, doesn't she? Because there's some problem that comes up and then she goes to fight it out. So that's the conflict in your story. Like in Lakshmi Panda, Lakshmi goes out as a spy, to collect information. And the same with Noor and Bachu, they get caught in riots and they have to get up for it. Conflicts. What would happen then? Then would you only enjoy the story in Hogwarts? There would be no excitement, right? The same way you need to have a conflict to make your story go forward. You mentioned plot. What do you mean by plot? Problem in the story is fine, but it's the problem in the story is generally conflict. Plot. Yeah. You're going one way and suddenly it takes a turn. Suddenly you have a conflict and the story takes a turn. Yeah, suddenly something goes wrong. And all of your story, something goes wrong? Yes. So by plot, what we mean is the entire storyline. Oh, we have a Tom and Jerry fan here. Yes. Just tell me generally what is the story in Tom and Jerry?
The story of Tom is Tom always changed Jerry and fighting.
Tom always chases Jerry and then fight. So the way we see it here. Okay? So the plot in generally Tom and Jerry is that at the first scene you see Tom and Jerry speak quietly and then they start chasing and then there's a fight and then slowly the dog comes or the owner comes, somebody comes and the fight is resolved. Yes. So first what we say is, generally stories have this term. There's the exposition. Like first you explain what are the characters, what's happening, you introduce them, okay? And then there is some problem, you feel some problem is coming, there's exactly no problem, but there's some tension beginning. And then the tension, then the problem becomes a little more, there's a crisis, and then there's the major fight. So, and then the story, comes to the end. So we follow this pattern in most of the stories. In many of the stories, not in all. There are different patterns that can be followed, but in this is the most common. You're the first to put your hand up.
The topic the story is based on.
Wonderful. The topic the story is based on. Very good.
Comedy, like
Yes, the horror, comedy. So all of you know what the theme of the story is.
maybe the story is something about and that continuation happens like it has got its magical.
Yes, wonderful. Make the stories magical. So that's the general theme of the story. Okay. I will come back. Don't take a chance. Despite all the communal violence around, all the tensions around, they remain true to each other. It's about friendship beyond all barriers. And in Lakshmi Panda, the theme revolves around survival and patriotism. And of course, bravery. Okay? Okay. So it is the underlying message that the author wants to convey to a reader.
And I have one more thing, and the main rule, the main secret of all is that there are no rules.
That's what I would like to say. All of us should write, experiment, innovate. And what I have told you are just pointers. You can take them as pointers to help you write, but each of you needs to be creative and come up with your own story. I would like to do a short reading from my book. Okay? Okay, I will try a little bit from both, okay? From here, I'll read from my first book. It's called Of Biryani and the Vadas. Yeah.
How many of you like biryani?
We have got to tell you the story here. I'm not an evil boy, but sometimes I can't help it. Like someone used to wet my bed until last year. I knew it was wrong, but I just couldn't help it. Sometimes I do bad things, even when I'm wide awake. Waving them in zigzag lines the way I usually do. I shut my eyes tight and pray. Dear God, please let someone big man make it. I don't really care who, but anyone who's dead will give us a holiday with you. When we go to school and the watchman tells us that a holiday has been declared, can anything beat that feeling? Especially if it's a day when the test results are going to be announced and you are going to flunk. I can't express how big the hour is. The closest I got to that feeling was when I first met you, my best friend. He was the only person who didn't laugh at my name. He never has. I think it's because he has a problem with his name too. Does anyone have difficulty spelling their own name? I see how he had a tough time recalling the spelling. In his previous school, people made fun of him because you couldn't spell his name right. I always got confused about the number of O's and V's and where to put the U. My problem, but you have different problems. Is there anyone whose name is mispronounced all the time? So many of us. Even I have the same problem. People mispronounce my name.
My problem, this is what you say, my problem is not that I can't spell my name. In fact, it was my father who spelled it wrong. And now I'm stuck with it. Papa wanted to call me Amitabh.
You know,
Like the Bollywood, you know? Amitabh Bachchan, yes. But do you know his name is Amitabh? There's a B-H at the end. Yes, right? But just our father didn't know that.
he thought his name was Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan, like how most people say, used to say, okay? So, but he always thought that the name was spelled A-M-I-T-A. He didn't know about the B-H at the end. So, I was named Amitabh. I was pleased for having the girl's name. To make matters worse, he nicknamed me Bachchu. Mummy, who has the shrillest voice, screams out Bachchu when she calls me. As expected, someone heard. And now they call me Amitabh Bachchu. I wonder why Papa couldn't give me a name like the ones the heroes have in films these days. These days it's the 90s, okay? Raj and Prem. Even Luke's parents could have named him after the latest film actors. Do you know who were the latest film actors when Noor and Bachchu were kids? They were Amir or Salman. Do you even know them? Bachchu wanted to be named either Amir or Salman and not sorry Mukundan. Noor. By the time Noor joined our class, it was already mid session. So you heard about the names of Noor and Bachchu? Yeah. So now let's see what was Lakshmi's name. Have you all heard about the Rani of Jhansi regiment? And do you know who was the commander of this regiment? Yes, okay, tell me. Same as Captain Lakshmi Sehgal? So what do you think would happen in the regiment if there's Captain Lakshmi speaking, someone calling Captain Lakshmi and our Lakshmi as well? Would there be confusion?
Yes.
So what do you think they did? Okay, did you read the book? Oh, that's how you know. My God, so many of you have read the book. That's good to know. Okay, yes. So they changed Lakshmi's name. Netaji himself changed Lakshmi's name to Indira. So she was known as Rani Indira in the Rani of Jhansi regiment. So would you like me to read a short part of that?
Yes.
So this is chapter 12 and it is called Becoming Indira. And I'll read from somewhere in the middle. So what Lakshmi did was, she climbed up a tree because she was tired, waiting. So nobody let her inside the camp. They said, you're too young. There are rules. People who need to be at least 18-year-old to join the INA. And they said they should not be married and they should have their father's permission. Okay, and as you know, Lakshmi's parents had died, so there was no one to give her permission. It was she who wanted to join the INA, but nobody would let her join or let her near the gate. So she waited outside the gate for 3 days, pleading to the guards there and requesting to the guards there. And then she said, okay, let's come up with a new opportunity. So she climbed up a tree and she began observing what was happening in the camp. So that day there was someone coming, she noticed. She was very smart. You can look at things and you can guess what's happening. So I'm sure somebody, before I come here, you all came up in line and some of the classes must have watched you. And they must have wondered if the script readers have something happening now. Right? The same way Lakshmi was watching and she could guess something, that somebody important was coming. Whenever there's a break from the routine, people become tense and easily irritated. There's a sense of urgency in the air. People run around getting things done, and then there will be one person who is so tense that they simply run around pretending to work. I used to see this happen whenever there was a big Gorak fire that would come to visit and inspect the work on the railway lines. It was similar. Some Randis were drawing lines with chalk powder on the ground. Some were setting up chairs. A couple was setting up the dais. One Rani was all over the place, carrying a vase of wildflowers and chatting non-stop to the other Ranis, probably asking what needed to be done next. Another Rani was running around so much to finish things that she was creating a big mess for herself along the way. She crashed into the chairs, which fell down and had to be picked up. She then missed a step, tumbled down from the dais, and crashed into a forest planting row. So I really stood up and I stayed up in the tree, waiting for signs of any new arrivals. Then, from a distance, I spotted a black motor car heading our way. I quickly slid down the tree trunk and rushed to the middle of the road, just in time to come face to face with the car and wave to stop it. The guards at the gate shouted, get off the road. I pretended not to hear and stood still. The car came to a screeching halt. I always loved the sound of a screeching car. What sound does a screeching car do? Yes, he. The driver who was in iron uniform immediately stepped out, absolutely fuming. Have you lost your mind? What's wrong with you? If I hadn't managed to stop the car, do you know what would have happened? Is this? If this had been a magical story like the ones now tell us, arrows of fire would have shot up from his eyes, turning me into ashes. Driver swag. And I wondered for a moment if he really was going to shoot arrows at me. But just then, I heard a strong yet calm voice. This country bulldog would have got you killed. Yet, I'm impressed with your courage. The man stepped out of the car. He wore a khaki uniform, chose boots, a tilted cap, and round glasses. He had no stars or stripes on his shoulders or his arms, but he commanded respect from all. The soldiers who had gathered around us, and also those at the gate, stood at attention. Leave the child, we ordered. Who do you think this man was? Netaji. Gee, Netaji, the guard replied. Oh, this was Netaji, the legendary Netaji. I popped out my chest and yelled, what did she yell? Yes, can all of you say loudly? Yes! Very good. Okay, and she to say loudly, Jai Netaji. I hope the earth would shudder with my stopping cry. Instead, I could hear muffled laughter from the soldiers. Netaji simply smiled and asked me, why did you do this? I want to join the Azad Hind Forge, I said. Nakul slowly made his way through the soldiers, came next to me, and nervously held my arm. When Netaji continued to look at me, and Nakul without saying a word, I decided to add, none of them are letting me join. They say I'm a child. That you are a child, he replied. Why can't children join hands to fight the British? After all, we have faced war and lost our parents to British bombs. We are victims of the British too. So why can't we fight them? I asked. Well, there are rules, you see, he said. Rules? Why are such rules even made? I thought. The whole point of the Azad Force was to kick out the British. I thought any Indian who was willing to fight for the cause are welcome. We are here to punish the British for what they did to our parents. I want to return to my motherland, just the way my parents wanted to return to their village in the Orissa province, he said. Okay, so this was Lakshmi's first meeting with Netaji. And then Netaji accepts her to the island and changes her name to Indira. And after that, Lakshmi trains to become a soldier. But at first, since Lakshmi is little, they give her some household work. She does the cleaning, sweeping, mopping, cooking. But she's an animal. She says she wants to be a soldier and she trains to be a soldier. She learns to fight, she learns sportsmanship and she learns to fire a rifle. But then they decide that the instructor said, they think that Lakshmi will become a good spy. Because Lakshmi was born and raised in Burma, she spoke Burmese very well. She knew the local people, the local language, she could mingle, and she spoke a few more languages as well. She spoke Nepali because she lived in a railway colony. She spoke Hindi too, Odia too. So they trained Lakshmi to become a spy. And then Lakshmi sent Lakshmi on a mission. Lakshmi has to go on an adventure, go through jungles and forests and enter, convince the British that she's an innocent little girl and enter their camps, work there and collect information. And this is how Lakshmi acted as a spy for the IIT. Okay. So now, can we take questions? Yes. Okay, what's the name? Well, Patricia here is asking me, why did I decide to write about Lakshmi Panda? Well, Patricia, all of you are looking for the cookie balls?
Alright. So this was in 2008. I was a journalist with a newspaper back. So that evening must be around 8ish at night. And most of the people had left the office. I think I was only slow at my work, so I was still typing it. And then there was this young man who walked in with a file and some papers. And he was Lakshmi Panda's grandson, Probin Rajpatra. That's his name.
So Probin was going to all the newspaper offices carrying Lakshmi's story. He wanted people to know about his grandmother. She was an INA soldier, but nobody knew about her. And that time, Lakshmi was living in poverty. She was working as a domestic help in somebody's house. No, I'm sure no one, the people whose house she was working, they were not have known that she is an INA soldier. So you never know who has a story. No, so we need to respect everyone. So Lakshmi was a domestic help. So he came and he said that he was fighting for a freedom fighters pension. A freedom fighters pension is the amount what the government gives to freedom fighters. So that's mostly given because we have many freedom fighters to those who are born to train. And Lakshmi was being an excellent spy, never went to jail. She never got caught. And still there was a time when the British caught her, but they chose to believe that she's not a spy since she was too young. And they said such a young little girl cannot be a spy. So she could be so eccentric. So we heard about her. After a couple of months, she met the then President Pratibha Patil. So Pratibha Patil was also President of India. After due documentation, after checking all the credentials, Lakshmi Panda was honored with the Rashtriya Swatantrata Sainik Samman, which is the highest award given to a freedom fighter. But sadly, a couple of weeks after that, Lakshmi Panda passed away. So I felt that not many people could come to know the story, and I felt that there was a need to tell her story. I need to tell her story in a way that many people can relate to her and relive her adventures. I did write a newspaper report, but I would want to write a book. Something from the point of view of 14-year-old Lakshmi. And that's why I wrote this book. Okay, thank you very much for the question. Next. Yeah.
Ma'am, I wanted to know whether there's a
She could be.
She could be a spy for the British.
Like in Madam.
Madam is a character that I have created, but it is true that in that time, the British also had spies. They had a very good network of spies within the
Burma province, who would collect information about the INA
and pass on to the British.
and you see, many of the soldiers in the INA were actually British and Indian soldiers who were taken as prisoners of war in Singapore. And then they formed the INA under the leadership of Captain Muskaan. And later, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose came over and they took over the reins of the INA.
So they did have spies. And in the book you also must have read about propaganda leaflets. So the British passed on propaganda leaflets to the soldiers, asking them to come back to the British Indian Army and that they would not be punished. So I saw some of these leaflets here in Canada, in Fort William,
There is a museum which is open to all.
and they do have these leaflets framed and put up there.
In a section of the Second World War. So anytime you Sunday you can go with your parents, there's a heritage walk also, where they show you all the old buildings, where Mangal Gandhi also dug up a tank, and this museum which has these relics of the Second World War.
In the book you mentioned about Lakshmi's brother Nakul. So when Lakshmi went away to be a spy for the INA, what happened to Nakul?
Well, Nakul continued with the INA. Sit down. Actually, I have ended the story where the flag is raised. But in reality, the INA had to retreat. They had to retreat from Nepal and go back to Singapore.
And somewhere along the way, Nakul was lost. Lakshmi Panda and Nakul could never meet after that. But throughout her life, Lakshmi waited for Nakul. When I spoke to her, she was hoping that Nakul is somewhere. She said maybe Nakul joined the Indian army. That's what she chose to believe. But we do not know what happened to Nakul. Nakul must have found his own way, his own adventure somewhere. We don't know about him.
What was your favorite part in this book?
My favorite part in this book, well, I loved writing the fun parts in this book. The parts where Lakshmi is in the INA, in the Rani of Jhansi regiment, along with other girls. I'm assuming the Rani of Jhansi regiment must have been something like your class. All very bright girls together. Yes? And there's a scene where someone steals some sugar and they try finding who this thief is. So I enjoyed this part.
If you met Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan, like how did she talk? Because she was a very well-known freedom fighter, but she was forgotten. Like how did she talk?
I haven't met Lakshmi Swaminathan. Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan is Captain Lakshmi Sehgal. Swaminathan was a Vedas Sarvi. But I have spoken to Lakshmi Panda. She's a different person. And when I spoke to her, I told her the first thing what Lakshmi said was Jai Hind. And she said it with so much gusto and so much emotion. She meant each syllable of it. And I was thrilled. I kind of got goosebumps. Maybe one last question will take over you. You must be busy and long time.
Ma'am, in this book is stated that particular journalist reporting for the Indian Express. So when and why did he take up the children's author?
Oh, I always wanted to be a children's author. You know that? I became a journalist because I had to find a job.
That brings me right. I was around 11 years old, around some of your age, and I lived in a small town called Karnel, which is a beach town.
And I loved playing on the beach. And that time there was a lot of tourism boom. The government wanted to push tourism. So
They discovered that Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore wrote his first ever play, Prakriti Pratishod,
on that beach, on the western coast of India. Because his brother, Satyendra Tagore, was the district magistrate then. So I felt if Gurudev Tagore would write a book in this very beach, this is the beach where I grew up. So this, it didn't seem impossible to me. It seemed this being within reach. So that's why I decided to write. Along the way, I became a journalist. And you, everyone will raise your hand for a long time.
So I wanted to ask that how did you get ideas to write this book?
How do I get ideas to write this book? And that's a very difficult question. Because ideas will come in, I don't know how they come in. I think you have to keep your ears and eyes open. Look at, observe things around you. That's where ideas come in. Was the other paper that is interesting news article? Do you guys read the newspapers?
Yes.
So the interesting one, have you read about this dog who walked back 250 kilometers home?
Yes.
That's interesting. So all we can think of writing of him.
Yes, and I saw it on YouTube.
Yes, you ask a question, right? How many days did it take me to write this book? Well, it took me 2 years. I have to do a lot of research, which is very little known about Lakshmi Pandya. So, the research took time. And then I had to bring in fiction. And it was very difficult for me to bring in fiction because I am used to sticking to facts. So, that took time. But when it comes to Nameless God, it took me 3 months to write the Nameless God. So, it depends from book to book. How old was I? I need to calculate that. I must be how much? 27, 28, I don't know. In 2008, I have to see how old I was.
26.
26, I was 26 years. The Nameless God is again based on, my childhood. When I was being played in a small child of ours. Little small child with my friends. And we would put up some sticks, some rags, and build a shed like thing. And some other destroyed them. I felt bad. So that kind of helped me from friends to the Nameless God. The children create their own hobby. I think so. Most of the all your questions, so you can all email me and try to nails. Okay, you can email me your questions. I will reply to you, and then I know none of you are on social media. You are too young for that, so please email me. Or you can DM me on Instagram also. Please be seated. I want to be quiet. Now the girls who have bought books already and want an autograph will quietly come out and make a single line. Others, please keep seated. Make a line this time. Just a minute.
Wonderful afternoon, and we had a great time interacting with Savie Karnel, and I thought I'd be here for a while, and then I have a whole lot of work lying for me in the office, and I thought I'd go back, but I just couldn't move out. It was so interesting, and it was so nice to hear her interacting with you, and I was impressed with you girls too. Except the last. A big clap for her. And can we all say a big thank you to her for giving us 2 books for our library? Okay. And now we would from our school on behalf of Modern as for Girls. And please accept them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Muskaan, for organizing this. It was wonderful. We hope to have more sessions in the future.
You just asked for it.
Yes, we learn more from this kind of exposure than just going over textbooks. I believe in that, and we all believe in that.